I'm going to apologize in advance for this one because I got the news story up, but it's on one of those gaming websites that is so insanely inundated with ads, you can't get rid of them. Like, look at this. Get your hands on them. Candy. Yes, I'm aware that candy is for sale during Halloween time. I didn't need your stupid ad to pop. Like, I really, like, this Frankenstein is going to sell me Reese's. I know Reese's exist. If I want them, I'm an adult. I can just go buy them. I don't need your ad to pop up and tell me about the grocery store. Look, I don't need to know about whole milk. What the fuck is this? These ads are so stupid. Why would I ever? Oh, man. I was really starving for some baby spinach. I'm so glad that when I went to read a news story about Halo, that I got whole milk and baby spinach ads. I'm definitely running out the door to buy organics right now. If you want to talk about ineffective web advertising, this is the exact definition of ineffective web advertising. Intrusive ads that are popping up and not stopping, and they're just in your face, and you know because this, like, I'm going to be honest, I love Reese's. But when I see that ad, I really don't want Reese's. You know what I'm saying? I don't want Reese's at all. And if your excuse is, oh, well, you know, that's Gamatsu, and Gamatsu needs those ads to stay afloat, well, then they should die. No, really. It's 2024. It's not 1997. If you're trying to make a living on the internet and you're relying on intrusive, ugly s'mores ads about the cookout dessert, your business model is flawed. All right? You need to find another business model to succeed. They should close if they rely on these shitty ads, okay? Just being real talk here. Anyway, now let's get to the subject at hand. 343 Industries becomes Halo Studios. Multiple Halo games in development on Unreal Engine 5, okay? And you might say, well, what does that mean? So, for those who don't know, Halo used to be made by a company called Bungie, all right? And it was their baby and their darling and their giant franchise that was very, very popular. And basically, after 3 games and a few spin-offs, Bungie decided they wanted to move on and do different content. So they said, we're going to sell off Halo. And they did. They handed off Halo to Microsoft. And then Bungie said, we're going to make a new series called Destiny. And they proceeded to make Halo again. Because Destiny is literally Halo, just with some MMO overtones, but it's definitely Halo again. It's the same game. It really is. It's just the same game. But anyway, Halo then went to a new studio called 343 Industries that was owned by Microsoft, okay? And ever since, it's 343 Industries that has made Halo. Now, it's very mixed opinions on how well 343 Industries has done. Some people think they did a good job. Some people they think they did an awful job. Some people find it somewhere in between. For me, you got to ask me what game we're talking about. Like Halo 4 and 5, I thought were a joke. I thought they were terrible, to be honest. Like Halo 4's plot is kind of silly. Halo 5 is atrocious. Halo 5, they actually misadvertised the game to get people to buy it because they had to fool people into thinking that Master Chief was the villain when he's not. It was pretty sad how they did that. The multiplayer of the games is lackluster and doesn't live up to the level that the original Halo games had. They always sell, because they're a big Microsoft franchise, but they never sell gangbusters numbers anymore, right? Then we had Halo Infinite. And Halo Infinite was the exception because it was supposed to be a launch title for the Xbox Series S and X. So everyone was excited, and then they delayed it. And they delayed it a year, and everyone was like, will it be good or not? And when it finally came out, right, this reboot of the Halo franchise, because they realized they had gone wrong with 4 and 5, it wasn't bad. The open world aspects of it were kind of interesting. The online multiplayer was good, and everyone loved it. And then within 2 months, 343 Industries completely tripped on their own shoelaces, fell through a plate glass window, slipped on a banana peel, and flew off the top of a skyscraper, careened down into the street, landed on the street, and just exploded into a gory, mulchified flesh pancake. What I mean is, they killed their own game because they didn't update it properly. They didn't put enough content into it for anything interesting. Basically, they had a best-selling, amazing Halo game, and they didn't have the capacity as game developers to make it AAA experience. You know, Call of Duty and other games are doing these passes where it's like, okay, every few months you get new maps, a new season, and all this content. They couldn't do that. They actually literally botched it. They dropped the ball. So they went from a player base that was way the hell up here to non-existent. And today, literally, no one's talking about Halo Infinite. No one cares about their updates. The player base is so tiny compared to what it once was. It's a joke. So, here's the news. Xbox Game Studios subsidiary 343 Industries is changing. Hold on, I'm sorry. I can't read the article because I need to learn about 12-hour secret whole body deodorant spray and beard ship station. Xbox Game Studios subsidiary 343 Industries is changing its name to Halo Studios, and all future Halo projects will be built in Unreal Engine 5, including multiple new Halo games currently in development, the studio announced. Okay? If you really want to break Halo down, there's been two very distinct chapters, said Halo Studio head Pierre Hintz. Chapter 1 was with Bungie, Chapter 2, 343 Industries. Now I think we have an audience which is hungry for more. No. You did 2.5, 3 years ago with Halo Infinite. You had that audience, and then you dropped the ball, and the audience left. And they went on to play other games, and they're not really caring about Halo anymore. You fucked up. We're not just going to try to improve the efficiency of development, but change the recipe of how we make Halo games. We start a new chapter today. So Halo games previously ran on Halo Studios' proprietary Slipspace engine, which required a large portion of staff to upkeep. We believe that the consumption habits of gamers have changed. The expectations of how fast their content is available, said Hintz. Yes. On Halo Infinite, we were developing a tech stack that was supposed to set us up for the future and games at the same time. And you didn't. You failed. They literally failed. They were supposed to have a pipeline of content that was supposed to come out and satiate the gamers, and it didn't. It failed miserably. It was too slow. It was a trickle. No one liked it. The game failed. Okay? Halo Studios Chief Operating Officer Elizabeth Van Wyck said, the way we make Halo games before doesn't necessarily work well for the way we want to make games for the future. No. It just doesn't work well for real life now. Forget about it doesn't work how we want to make games. It's what consumers want. Consumers don't want you to release the game and then they have to wait a year for your first update. They want a string of content updates for these kind of games. They want it almost as a live service deal. That's how these games traditionally are now done, right? What? Hold on. So part of the conversation we had about how we can help the team focus on making games versus making the tools and the engines. Adopting Unreal Engine 5 also means Halo Studios can create games with a focus that can satisfy fans, even setting up multiple games to create different games simultaneously. So, essentially what they're saying is, for 25 years, we were using this proprietary and now very outdated development engine. And we were proud of it, and we touted it, and we always talked about how proud we were that we were using our own engine. But then we fucked up. Because with Halo Infinite, everyone wanted more content, but because we were using 25-year-old coding and shit, we couldn't make content fast enough, and our game failed. So what we're going to do is we're going to rename our studio Halo Studios to pretend like none of that happened again. Because remember, 343 failed with Halo 4 and 5, so then they rebooted with Halo Infinite. Then they failed with Halo Infinite, so now they're rebooting again, and now they're actually name-changing their studio to pretend like none of that happened. And act like this is some kind of a new dawn, a new era of game development. Okay? All right, they're going to Unreal Engine 5. Fair enough. Good. But now you have to get my confidence back. Because you totally lost. Look, I even said a new dawn. They're actually calling it a new dawn? They're actually calling it a new dawn. Wow. Anyway, funny that I called it that. So basically, what's happened, for those who don't know, 343, after failing with Halo Infinite, basically the top management got cut out and now they're starting over. Okay? Here's the thing. I don't want to be a naysayer. I don't want to be a jerk. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. All right? I liked Halo Infinite, and hold on, excuse me. I have to learn about Dell Store Prime. Okay, I've learned about Dell Storage Prime. I don't want to be a negative Nancy. I don't want to be one of these people who's constantly talking negatively about things. I really don't want to do that, okay? At the very same time, it's hard for me to have confidence in this studio. They failed with Halo 4, they failed with Halo 5, and they failed with Halo Infinite. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me a third time, well, I guess we all got fooled. Fool me a fourth time, and you might as well put the dunce cap on that has the spinny propeller on top, and it's like the weird striped color that stands out as you sit in the corner and you go, because like, I just don't believe that this studio is capable of handling Halo well. They had 3 chances so far, and every time they failed, right? They came close to greatness with Halo Infinite. Like, they had a good game, and then they just flubbed it, right? It's like they had this priceless work of art, this rare vase from like ancient Greece or Rome, and it has unique, it had the history of a people, and they tripped, and they botched, and they dropped the vase, and it exploded into a million pieces all over the ground. It'll never be the same, right? So, I don't have that confidence anymore. I don't. I hope they do good. I want to say I hope that they come back, and that they can actually do well, but I just don't believe them, you know? They think that saying, okay, we're dropping the Slipstream engine, which was our problem, our bottleneck, and we're renaming ourselves to 343 Studios, like that's going to fix the problems? I don't know. Now, if they did gut the upper management and it's all new people in there, maybe that'll fix it. All right, maybe that's what it was. Maybe it was just bad management. So let's find out. I'm excited for the future, but I'll tell you, I don't want to be fooled again. In another 2 years, I don't want Halo Unlimited, because that's probably what they'll call it, or Halo A New Dawn. It's either going to be Halo A New Dawn or Halo Unlimited. Calling it right now, okay? And when it comes out, I don't want it to be good and then flop again and fail because they don't know what they're doing, right? I want Halo to stay prominent in the gaming world. I want them to be a name that people still discuss. I don't want them to be the joke. Right now, they're literally the joke. Since Bungie left the equation to make Halo a second time with Destiny, there's been really just flub after flub. So I guess we'll find out what happens and go from there. But man, I really hope Halo Hope. Maybe that's what they'll call it. Halo A New Hope. Right? Starring young Spartan Walker trying to take out the Death Flood star. Anyway,